So, Punjab have to score this, because if they don't, and it's with Wayne Bushell, going to take it right-footed, puts the ball on the spot. Harley-Earl, can he be the hero? Bushell, saves! Maidstone United are through.
What a cracking save at the end there, Darren. The second save from Harley-Earl, top comes off. He is very happy with that. Yep, he is Maidstone's number one tonight. He's got 12 on his back. He's had two fantastic saves.
That second one was really good. I mean, a nice level, but
reminiscent of Lee Morgan, dare I say, that one.
Absolutely, and
with the forearm sort of pushing it up into the sky.
Well, just to say, this has been a great game of football. Yes, it ended 0-0. There could have been some more better chances if you want to be ultra critical, but certainly the 743 fans in here tonight have had a right royal evening's entertainment. Ended with a penalty shootout, and yeah, all right, I'm old school, I don't like penalty shootouts perhaps, but you can't deny the drama of these things. And if you can't separate two sides, you've got to have something. Somebody's got to go through, and on this occasion it'll be Maidstone United. Punjab ending a run that started last year with them winning the Kent Senior Trophy, getting into the Kent Senior Cup. Maybe they've probably seen the best of their season so far, but what a way to end it.
Fantastic game, as you say, Darren. Not too many clear-cut chances. The chances that were there did keep it interesting, keep it alive. It was a shame not to have a goal in the 90 for either side, but in terms of how the drama unfolded, I think, if anything, to slightly go against what you said, I think a penalty shootout was probably the fair outcome to happen tonight between these two sides. There's very little to separate them. A lot of senior players there for Maidstone still, and holding their own in that front six especially. The back five, you have to mention, of course, played very well in keeping Punjab out, the likes of Vines, etc. Playing very, very well up top, not creating too many clear-cut chances. A few issues at the back with some of the set pieces we mentioned very early on. When you're not playing with each other week in, week out at senior level, these things can take a little bit of ironing out. But the penalty shootout for me, very fair outcome after the 90, very well deserved as they're being clapped off the Maidstone players down in front of us here. And yeah, for Harley-Earl to have his moment again this season. Obviously he's only played the Kent Senior Cup games so far for Maidstone, of course, for Lucas Coverland, but if Lucas Coverland isn't with the club for much longer because he gets his long-awaited championship move, Harley-Earl has certainly put himself in the spotlight as he goes towards the fans here, and he definitely deserves his moment because he's learning from the best. He's got a coach there with him as well, George Elokobi, who is one of the best that Maidstone, we can say, have ever already had.
Yeah.
You can't dispute that because, I have jokingly said, and I will go on the record live here as well and say, he's done the best ever FA Trophy record for Maidstone, the best ever FA Cup record for Maidstone. He's now in the semi-final of the Kent Senior Cup, and I said, well, George, you've got to win the Kent Senior Cup as well. If you want to be the best ever cup manager for Maidstone United in their history, that's 2 wins this season in the Kent Senior Cup. It's 2 more needed. Got a semi-final coming up at some point in March by the look of things, and then who knows, a potential final somewhere in Kent in April, depending on who we come up against. So we'll look forward to that particular Tuesday night in March when it comes. Just to mention Maidstone's penalty shootout record in recent times then, that's 7 of the last 10 that they've won, beaten Folkestone in the Senior Cup final 17-18 season, Dartford in the quarter-finals 18-19, so we've had a quarter-final penalty shootout win before in the Kent Senior Cup in recent years, beaten Gillingham as well in the semi-final, and then Bromley in the final of that particular competition. So the Kent Senior Cup, we had that on absolute lockdown, frankly.
I believe I commentated on that Dartford shootout as well.
I certainly did the Folkestone one from memory, possibly the Gillingham one. I was in the crowd for the Bromley one. We then had Wimborne that we lost on penalties, so quickly go across away from that very quickly. Billericay Town in the FA Trophy, yourself and Nigel, I remember doing that one. And then the loss at Boreham Wood on penalties, that was of course again yourself and Nigel. Notts County of course, last
myself
season
and
in the
Nigel,
FA Trophy,
and we
yourself
won.
and Nigel again, and then the Barnet game here, which we sadly lost. So at least we can now say that Maidstone United's last penalty shootout was a victory for the Stones. So
and actually, just to sort of like talk about today's game briefly again. My man of the match was actually the Punjab goalkeeper. Not because Maidstone had a plethora of attacks. We had quite a few, but he played really, really well. And just to top it off, obviously he's not saved any penalties, but I tell you what, the best penalty out of all of the ones was
yes.
actually the one that he took and scored.
Yeah, so the two best saves obviously from Earl, but yeah, that top corner from Annie Barber was easily the best penalty. A strange sort of numerical anomaly that I was going to have a play about with was to see how many were in the crowd here tonight and divide that into the attendance at Portman Road, and it comes out at just over 37, and ironically that was our 39th game of the season, I think it was, at the weekend at Ipswich. Yeah, you'd have to go an entire season's worth of those sorts of levels of attendances to achieve what we got in one game at Portman Road. Going briefly back to the FA Cup magic.
Well,
from the
yeah,
weekend.
we've all got our stories about that.
Lots of stories.
It's, unbelievable, and everybody who was there and everybody who wasn't there will have their own particular version and will remember it. I mean, I'll just add the one in the car on the way back. There was a group of us, and I said, when you pick me up, this is obviously travelling south down the A12, when you pick me up to take me to Ipswich today, what are you going to say when I said I had a dream that we won 2-1?
Probably say, don't bother waking me up, Darren.
Yeah, well, anyway, we will. Anyway, as I say, that's being a little disrespectful to Punjab United, our opposition here today. It was a great game of football. It was
their cup final, like we said at the top of the show, Darren. It was their cup final tonight, and the attendance they had. I know it's fairly local; it's a half-hour drive. Obviously, had train strikes throughout the country and certainly in the southeastern area this evening. So the hardy souls that did come from Punjab have obviously made their way down by other means other than the locomotive. So, fair, as you say, Darren, fair play to all of them for making their way the short trip down here. Fair play to the Maidstone fans. Keep mentioning after the Lord Mayor's show every Tuesday night when we come back from a cup game. We had our cup final, what we thought it was going to be our cup final. We've got another one in about 3 weeks' time. Myself and Connor Kent will be on air this time next week when we presume Sheffield Wednesday and Coventry will be playing their replay. It'll either be the Tuesday night or the Wednesday night. I think it is Tuesday. Because all three are listed as Tuesday at the moment. I think the TV companies will get their teeth into those and work out which one of those will get put onto iPlayer or ITVX for the Wednesday night. They'll probably end up showing all three of them, frankly, because I know they normally show one on each of BBC and ITV. Here in the UK at least, and then all hell will break loose. Frankly, everybody will be asking for tickets. Everybody asking everybody else for getting tickets. But until then, obviously there's another big match at the weekend that Maidstone have got, and they've got Yeovil Town coming.
It's a big few days because we've got Yeovil on Saturday and Torquay on Tuesday. Yeah, and Torquay will really, really want to put one over on it. Let's put it this way: we played Torquay. It seemed like months and months and months and months ago. I've been across continents since then, and they will be looking at that and thinking they came down here, they smashed and grabbed us, and now look what they've done. It could have been us.
Yeah, it could have easily. They've had a few FA Cup adventures in recent years, Torquay United, but they're plugging away in the division. They're very much still in the playoffs. Gary Johnson's there with them all. Still,
good side,
and they are a good side. And obviously Yeovil an even better side, and they've proved that again tonight. They had a 3-1 win at home to Slough in the finish. Welling did finish 2-1 winners against Hampton and Richmond, so Welling have made sure that Maidstone are still in 4th place.
New manager bounce, perhaps.
Indeed, new manager bounce for Welling. So it's a welcome result for Maidstone United this evening to keep themselves in 4th. I keep saying, Darren, I said earlier that every time Maidstone seem to play a cup game and don't play a league game, they somehow still end up in 4th place. And yet again tonight we've had that, thanks to our localish rivals Welling, to keep us in 4th place. But Hampton and Richmond have 1 game fewer to catch up with us, stay ahead of us, etc. For that battle for 2nd to 7th, because it's Yeoville's league to lose now, but can Maidstone United put a dent in their title charge on Saturday? Fred Atkins and Nigel Seeger will probably be the next best people, other than having yourself down here at what will hopefully be a raucous Gallagher Stadium on Saturday afternoon, but they'll be here for you if you need them, as always, our FA Cup heroes.
Yeah, and the thing is, you've got to think about the FA Cup and everything that happened, but we've got a league season to sort out, and we've got 2 very, very, very important games coming up. So if you can't make it down to the Gallagher, and hopefully you will, then maybe you can join Fred and Nigel on Stones Live.
Until then, thanks for progress in the Cup yet again, Darren, this evening. And from the pair of us, as always, as we like to say at the end of these little things, come on, you Stones.